Guys, I lost the house, lost everything. No, I'm just kidding, guys, but we are taking our first red week of the year. And in this video, what I want to do is walk you through my thought process, recap the trades we took, tell you what I'm going to do different next week. So when I take a red week, shit changes for me, completely different. And how you, if you have been struggling, mostly just tell you that it's okay, right? You're going to struggle, you're going to lose money. It's going to happen over and over again. Even when you're successful and profitable, you're still going to lose money. But at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how to overcome that if you've been feeling kind of down or unconfident recently, especially in the first week of December's price action has been tough for most people. Probably should avoid trading in general, but I'm going to recap all my mistakes I made and hopefully set you on the right path moving forward for the rest of the year, guys. And again, I'm going to be super patient because I lost some money. We've been killing it so far, guys. And I tell you, I kid you not, we are about to have the absolute first red week of the entire year. And I'm not joking when I say this. Every single trade I've taken has been live, every single one. Down $18,000 so far in December. So it's pretty tough. November, 100K, no red week, no red week, no red week, no red week. I mean, literally go back all the way into January. Our last red week was last December. Oh, what are the odds? What are the odds? You know, last December was our last red week. But anyways, guys, let's get into today. Start off with the first and foremost. Down $18,000 this week, I guess. Yeah, first red week of the year. Only traded 2 days this week and only took a total of 4 trades. So December, slower conditions, low volume, and we're giving us more chop. We kind of showed you how much I'm down. Coming back from a pretty good month last month, giving back a decent bit of profits so far. But and one big thing to notice right here, I have the ES in the 4-hour time frame, and kind of notice how we came from a super easy identifiable bearish market, super easily identifiable bullish market, and now we're sitting in this fucking disgustingness with this whack ass volume that I should have completely avoided, and I should not have traded these past 2 days. I got pretty impatient Thursday and Friday because again, like no trades Monday through Wednesday. I was sitting here doing absolutely nothing. I haven't really had many days this week or this year where it's like that. So I honestly probably should just sat on my hands and not taken a single trade. But we still did because we had made the pre-market plan, followed the pre-market plan. And again, the market and the volatility just was not on our side. And that's totally okay. And just notice how nice the conditions were before we got into the whole Thanksgiving and then this crazy mess we have right now. So if you're struggling, man, it's okay. If you're losing money, it's okay. Look at the condition we're in. It's totally okay to be struggling. It's totally okay to be losing money. As long as you're following your plan, following your risk reward rules, we're chilling. I literally can I had one trade last week or 2 weeks ago, 23K. So literally one good A plus setup will wipe out all of my losses and give us a little bit of profits at the end as well. But why I kind of struggled, right? I had a lot of fake outs. Before, when I was kind of struggling, like, a couple months ago, was because I was right in the move, just couldn't get the entries right. Now, recently, the move hasn't even been correct. I've been completely wrong on most of my moves. Slow conditions, levels have been super tight, super close to each other, making it, even with the slow market, I still had big risk on a lot of positions, right? And really bad R&R, but impatient at the end of the month or end of the week. Hard reads and tight levels are a big thing. And again, the fake outs. But I kind of want to recap my trades a little bit here first. I provide like a more in-depth recap for every single one of my mentorship students. I'm not going to go into too much detail here on YouTube, but I do kind of provide a full in-depth detail. I'm going to break down all 4 trades I took this week, give you all an idea of what I looked for, why I went wrong. At the end, kind of give you guys what I'm going to be doing it differently next week to kind of help all of this, and also some words of advice if you are struggling, and just kind of telling you that it's totally okay to struggle. It's how it works. You will always struggle when it comes to trading. You will always lose money. As long as you can follow your risk rules, stay disciplined, not change what you do, you will end up being successful. But first trade we took was this is yesterday at 9:40 a.m. on Thursday, had a negative $7,500 around, just put the estimates here. Second trade at 11:20 a.m. was plus 2,500, just partials, just a small TP, and then the rest went to break even. So these are both the setups we took, right? We had break retest off the open, broke a pretty aggressive level, retested, closed above VWAP. I even waited on the close above VWAP for my entry. Long, targeting the first TP would have been this high as we put in pre-market. Next TP would have been the next coming level. Stop loss underneath the low we had on the retest. Ended up getting stopped the fuck out. Then we bounced off of demand twice. So right here we had major absorption on Bookmap, came back down, major absorption, which is all it is massive amounts of passive buyers absorbing aggressive sellers, kind of giving fuel for this move up. Entered, we were super late on the entry because we waited for a bunch of extra confluences, wait for this new high to be put in. And again, got in, market went to our first TP, which was these highs, moved, stopped to break even, and then a little bit later we get stopped out, break even, and took a little bit of partial. Only took 5 total contracts off here, which is literally like less than a third of my position, so barely made any money, still a red that day. And Here are both the plays right here without the levels. But looking at this, right, we had why I was so aggressive on longs on Thursday versus the rest of the week was because we actually had a nice 30-minute close above the 4-hour range. The shitty range we were in right here, on literally pre-market, we had a very good look, 4-hour close above the range. Market just didn't care. Same thing that happened today to me, right? I was following the trend, following the market. It didn't care, right? It just honestly played off a little bit less. We can get these random massive volume sell-offs, man, that just come out of nowhere, take liquidity out, and the market starts pumping up. And again, it's how it's going to be. Sometimes the market won't be how you want it. Maybe some people with good strategies are thriving in this condition. Maybe some scalpers, whoever, are just doing really good. For me, this kind of condition doesn't make me do so good. Kind of actually makes me suffer a little bit. But that's why I was so aggressive. The 4-hour close above the range. We played the demand bounce, right? We had the break retest. All right, cool. Didn't work out. Play the demand bounce. Would have worked out. Would have went to my full TP. But again, this is what I mean, man. We've been seeing a crazy sweep of these sellers, but right before we keep making that slow move up all week. I'm going to take this into next week and the rest of the year. This is kind of what we see during the Santa rally. I'm going to kind of acknowledge that. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to be doing differently, because the levels I've had, man, have been super, super tight. Look at these. I have to use lines, man. Look at these demand levels up here. Look how close these supply levels are. Look how close these demand levels are. They've been so tight, which just makes it super, super hard to get good risk toward ratios. Let's go over today, right? The trades I took today. So the first trade was at 1030, negative 6,000, around that. Second trade was 1045, negative 6,000. So it's kind of why we are down. A total of, it was a little bit more than that, 12.7K for the day. I had a little bit of bad fills, but do what we can. But first off and foremost, we took both of our setups up here, right? Break retest of the 900s, super, super strong supply level. We had, I'll show you right here. We had the 900 level right here, super, super strong supply level. We're literally just trying to play longs into these 900s. So we had a break, or sorry, broke the 900s. We're trying to play longs. Let me go ahead and extend this out a little bit. Right here, longs into this last high, then longs into the 918s, right? About 10 points in the first one, about 18 points in the second one. Had a nice aggressive close. We looked like we were good to go, good to rip. Had a good close up there, had a good retest twice. And what I liked on this as well is that we're moving up. The buyers are super strong. Had absorption from sellers on both of these lows on my entries, right? So we had really, really good entries both times, right? Even the second candle off our entry here looks like a massive liquidity sweep, more absorption, close above the 900s twice, close above the 900s here, close above the 900s here again. Everything looks super, super solid and super, super good for a continuation up into the 900s, where we even had resting liquidity. You can kind of tell. I'll show you here. The 900 offer actually got pulled not too long ago. We actually finally hit the 900, or sorry, above the 900s. We had an offer at the 920s. All right, it got bid back, but it got pulled a little bit ago. We're targeting these 920s or 918s a little bit beneath that. The offer kept getting pulled. So we had liquidity there. We had a magnet there. Everything looked absolutely solid. But again, market didn't care. We had a massive sell-off after, right from where I got in. And again, we were wrong about the move. Makes sense. The market hasn't been in my favor this week at all. And this is how it is sometimes. I'm told, even yesterday I told everybody, like, if I have a red week this week, I'm totally okay with it. Conditions haven't been totally in my favor. And if you have a red week, I'll come back next week. I'll do what I have to do just to continue and give me better probability of not closing off this year red, right? We don't want to do that. And again, why we tried the 900s, it was above this 4-hour key high, and also super, super strong supply level that we had a pretty good close above. Like, I mean, buyers came up, volume looked good. We had a really good positive delta above the levels. Like our first entry, you saw buyers step up again. Second entry had more absorption, had a false range breakout, right? Close out of the range, close back in the range. Everything looked good for every single trade I took, but the market conditions just were not in my favor, and that's totally okay. And I want to be super transparent, super clean and clear with you guys. I lose money, right? This is my first red week of the year, not because I'm a super fucking good at what I do, just because I'm consistent. I'm very consistent, and I'm surprised. I have never had a year where I didn't have a single red week, never. So I kind of knew this was coming. You know, it's kind of meant to be. I'm supposed to have at least one red week a year, but moving on from this, man, market's slower, but I was still trading like it was normal volatility. I was still trying to go for those big moves instead of going for smaller moves. I was still trying to chase the volatility like we had recently, but the market was slower. In December, it makes sense. You know, I even knew this going in, but I was still trying to chase the volatility. So I'm adapting to move forward. We still make mistakes, still having patience. No matter, I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and I still see things I can improve on every single day. But what I'm going to be doing on moving forward from today into next week, I'm going to cut my size in half. I do this every single time I have a red week, which is why my drawdown is so little. If you look at my P&L chart, look at my drawdown chart. Let me see if I can pull that up here for y'all on TradeZella. All right, so here's a screenshot of my actual equity curve here. Look, this is why I sized out after a red week. Look how, this is just for this year, by the way. We had a crazy year, literally just straight up. But look how small my drawdowns are, right? Every single time. And this is because I sized down after a red week. I avoid losing streaks by cutting my size in half. So next week, we're going to go on to 10 contracts, right? 10 contracts max. only trade higher time frame levels. Kind of something I'm already doing. You kind of see all this clutter we have here. I have zoomed out. I showed this to my mentorship students. I zoomed out, and now we're only going to be focusing on, wrong drawing set, these higher time frame levels right here, right, that I have marked out. Less clutter, less noise, stronger levels. So really interested in longs above this 20 level into all-time highs, so much room to run. Really interested in shorts below this 85 level, so much room to run. And then if we kind of hold this bullish structure we're seeing now, we have an entry level here at 840s, entry level at 820s, and entry level at the 800s to continue this bitch up, right? Making my levels smaller, less levels, less opportunity, reducing my size so I don't hesitate. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the video as well. But again, something I recommend a lot of you guys do when you're struggling, having a bad time, you're inconsistent, losing a lot of money, size down, zoom out, focus on the higher time frame levels, and trust me, you'll be doing a lot better. But that's kind of the recap I have for you guys. And this is big, big, big. Make sure you follow at least this number 1 here if you had a decent or rough week. But again, guys, you need to remember to be a consistent and profitable trader. You're going to have to learn to be really, really good at losing. I lost 18K this week, and I don't even care that much about the money I lost. I know from my experience in the market, this is part of the game. I'm going to lose money a lot, and I'm okay with it. I was okay with it yesterday. I'm okay with it today. I'm okay with it going into the weekend. I'm not going to let this ruin my week. I'm not going to let this ruin my weekend. What I did was went over my trades. I adapted, and I told myself I'm going to change this up next week to avoid any further losses and to stay consistent and locked in, especially during December, the end of the year, where I should not be taking that many trades at all. So I told myself today, I was like, hey, Elder, if I don't take a single trade for the rest of the month and I end up being down 20K, or I take a trade and end up losing even more money, I'm okay with that. We've had a killer year so far. We're up a killer amount of money. We made over $1 million trading this year, just day trading on its own. And every single trade I've taken has been live. So I'm okay with losing. You should be okay with losing. You should be okay with understanding that we are in a tough condition. If you're using my strategy, for example, some of y'all might be thriving in this condition. If you are, awesome. A lot of my students are thriving in this condition, and they're absolutely been killing it, which is awesome. But again, not something I'm doing. But the thing is, nobody wants to hear that it's okay to lose. Nobody wants to hear that. But if you're going to survive in this game, you really, really got to get that in your bones, like implement it, tat it on your body. And if you cannot lose well, you'll never win big. You'll never make it, because the big wins come from consistency, come from time after time after time again, following the same exact rules that you're supposed to be doing every single day, right? Every trader loves to talk about their 5K days or 20K days or 20K weeks, whatever it is, the payouts, the cars. But the only reason any of that is possible is because behind the scenes, they learn how to be a profitable and a professional loser. It's all about losing. So your job as a trader is to lose correctly. And if you keep losing correctly every single day, you keep improving and optimizing your curve, right? Your balance curve is going to look like this, right? Being a bad loser means that you're going to have up, 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 and then out of nowhere, bam, straight down, right? That's what it looks like to be a bad loser. Your equity curve looks so different. Like you'll have these, this is what I see with a lot of my students. They'll go up, 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 and then it'll just dive right down, right? Everything you made for the past months will be lost in 1 or 2 days, because you cannot lose. You are not good at being a loser. So I'm telling you this as someone who's eaten massive red days. I've lost way more money than I've lost this week before. I've lost 6 figures in a couple days before. There are weeks where you're going to do everything right and still end up red. That doesn't mean that you're not meant for this. It means that you're in a real market. It means that you're not trading a fantasy. Nothing's going to be 100%. And if you want the truth, right, the market's always going to take money from you. You're just simply making sure that it takes a little bit when you're wrong, and you take a lot back when you're right, and you lean probability in your favor, so it works out in the long term, right? And the gap is kind of where your future payouts are going to live, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully, if you were struggling this month or this week, it kind of gave you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation to keep going, keep pushing through, keep your losses small, understand the market conditions will get better soon, and that's when you want to be aggressive. That's when you want to take advantage of it. Next week, I'm chilling the fuck out. Anyways, guys, see y'all later. Appreciate this. And subscribe, leave a like. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Try to get back to every one of them. And I'll see y'all later, guys. Peace out.